welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss the problem find maximum meetings in one room. So we are given one meeting room and there are n meetings, and for each meeting we have start time and finish time, and we need to tell how many meetings we can conduct in that one room. So input is that we are given start time and finish time of these meetings. So this is the this is start time and this is the end time for the first meeting. So in the output we have to print all the meeting numbers. So for example, in this input, first meeting can be conducted, after that the second meeting can be conducted, then the fourth meeting, this one can be conducted, and then this one. So let's see how we can approach this problem. Over here I have written the start time and the end time. Now what we need to find out is that how many meetings we can have in that meeting room, and also we need to find the maximum meetings. So the same, if you are following the greedy series, you might have guessed what will be the approach, right? What will be the first step. So now we have to find the maximum meetings. So maximum meetings in a room. So like we will be thinking in a way that we want to have maximum meetings, so we will start with a meeting which will end earlier. So if a meeting will end earlier, we can after that the room will be vacant, right? So we can have another meeting. So this will be the thought process. We will first pick the meeting which has like the finish time earlier. So we will sort using the finish time. Yeah, like we will be doing sorting using the finish time. So this will be the first step. But this is our finish time array and this is our start time. If we sort this finish time array, we will lose the start time for the each meeting, because like although this array is already sorted, but suppose if you sort this array, you will lose the corresponding start time, right? Because these are like these indexes are corresponding to the start time and finish time. So what we'll do is, and also we know that this is the first meeting, this is the second meeting, third meeting, fourth meeting, fifth meeting, and sixth meeting. That is this one which is at 0 index is the first meeting. Let's do one thing. Let's make a list in which we will be storing the start time for a particular meeting, the end time or the finish time of the particular meeting, and the meeting number. Same, we will have the start time, the end time, and the meeting number. Then again we have the start time, the end time which is 6, and then the meeting number 3. So in this way we will have a list which has all the values, and then we can sort accordingly. Then we will not lose the start time when we sort. So 5, 7, and then we have the meeting number which is 4, and then we have 8, 9, and the meeting number, and lastly we have 5, 9, and the meeting number. So this is the list which we created. Now what we'll do is we will sort this list according to the finish times, that is these which are at index 1. These are the finish times, right? We will sort them, although I think they are already sorted because this is 2, 4, 6, and then 7 and 9 and 9, so they are already sorted. But the after making the list, the second step will be to sort them. Okay, so now let's run the algorithm. How we will run the algorithm? Over here we will have our output. So let's start. Initially we'll have a variable end in which we will store the end of the first meeting, which is 2. Now it is very much clear that always we will start with this first meeting. That means this one will always be executed, right? So we can directly print this, the meeting which is at 0 index of the list, we can just print the meeting number of that. So over here it's 1, this one. Now after that we'll start from here. We will check if the end time of this meeting is it less than the start time of the next meeting. That means if the meeting which was earlier done, is it finished now? If the start time of the next meeting is greater than the end time of the previous meeting, we can have this meeting then in the meeting room. So over here we see that 3 is greater than 2. So we can take this meeting. Hence we will output 2, which is the meeting number, this one, and we will now update the end time, because now the end time is 4, and after that we will increment to the next index. Now again the same process. We will check, is the start time, which is 0, is it greater than the end time, which is 4? No, it's not greater. Hence we will not take the meeting 3, and we will go over to the next. Also we will not update the end time because we have not taken this meeting, right? Now again we will check, is the start time, which is 5, greater than the end time? Yeah. Hence this meeting can be taken, and the meeting number is 4, so we will in the output have 4. Also we will update the end time because we have taken this meeting, and then end time is 7. And now we will move to the next meeting. So now the start time is 8. We will check, is the 8 greater than the end time? Yes. So we can also take the meeting with meeting number 5, and also we will update the end time, which is now 9, and we will move to the next. Now we will see the start time is 5. 5 is not greater than 9, hence we cannot take this meeting, because the meeting which is going on will end at 9, right? And this will start at 5. This is not possible. There is already one meeting which is going on in the meeting room, so we cannot have this meeting in the meeting room, because only at one time only one meeting can be going on in the meeting room. So we traversed all entire list, and this is the output which we got. So I hope you understood the logic. Basically, first we did sorting, and then after that sort according to the finish time, and after that we checked that if the start is greater than end, we will take the meeting output, the meeting number, and secondly we will update E, which is the end time. So let's see the code. Code is pretty much simple if you understood the algorithm. So the same, we are in the input, we were given the start time, the end time, and then we made a list, this list, this one. And in the list what we did was we appended the start time, we made a sub list. This is the sub list. We have start time, the finish time, and I+1, which is the meeting number. Why I+1? Because I is the index, right? So if this is 0, if this is 0, right, the meeting number will be I+1, which is 1. Similarly for index 1, the meeting number is 1 plus 1, that is index plus 1. 2. So that's why we had taken I plus 1, and then we'll be calling this function max meeting, in which we'll be passing L and the number of meetings. Now this is the answer array which will store the output. We will sort L list according to the value which is at index 1. Now at index 1, we can see every time at index 1 we have, this is right 0, this is 0, 1, 2. So at index 1 we have the finish time. So we are sorting using the finish time, because we want every time we want to pick like that meeting which ends earlier, and then we will just simply append the meeting number, because first meeting will always be conducted, and we will take a variable time limit which is e. We, in the explanation, we took this as e variable, this one, and initially it will have the end time of the first meeting, this one, and then we will run loop from I. We will check if the start time, which is at 0 index, is it greater than e. Like we were checking, like over here, if the start time greater than e. If yes, then what we did was we added in the output and we updated e. We added in the output the meeting number and we updated e. Now e will be this time underscore limit variable will have the finish time of the current meeting, and after the loop we'll get our answer in the output in the answer array, answer list, and we can just simply print the meeting numbers. So this is pretty much the code, and the time complexity for this algorithm is n log n, because we are doing sorting, and for space it will be O of n, because we are making this extra list. So I hope you understood the algorithm and the code. If you have any doubt, you can ask in comments and I will be happy to answer, and the problem link and the code link will be present in the description. So if you found the video helpful, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching.